Turkish artillery has fired on targets in Syria after shells from across the border killed 5 Turkish nationals. A woman and 3 children were among the dead when the shells, apparently fired by Syrian government forces, hit Turkey's border town of Akkakuli. Ankar's response marks the first time it has fired into Syria during the 18-month-long unrest there. Turkey also asked the UN Security Council to take necessary action to stop Syrian aggression. The request was made by Turkish envoy to the UN, Ertuğrul Apakan, in a letter. Thank you for trying verbose. This recording will go away once the product has been purchased. To the current president of the 15-member council, Guatemalan Ambassador Gert Rosenthal. Meanwhile, NATO envoys held an urgent meeting in Brussels at the request of Turkey, who is a member of the military alliance. The bloc issued a statement saying it continues to stand by Turkey and demands the immediate cessation of such aggressive acts against an ally, and urges the Syrian regime to put an end to flagrant violations of international law. The NATO ambassadors also expressed appreciation for Turkey's restraint in its response. The BBC's defense correspondent Caroline Wyatt. Thank you for trying verbose. This recording will go away once the product has been purchased. Reports. At the same time, the government in Ankara is expected to ask the parliament on Thursday to authorize cross-border military operations in Syria, Turkish media report. The Turkish armed forces have in the past moved into northern Iraq in pursuit of Kurdish militants who had bases there. Abominable attack. Turkey's territory has been hit by fire from Syria on several occasions since the uprising against Mr. Assad began, but Wednesday's incident was the most serious. In a statement, the office of Turkey's Prime Minister Recep Tayyip. Thank you for trying verbose. This recording will go away once the product has been purchased. Erdogan said, our armed forces in the border region responded immediately to this abominable attack in line with their rules of engagement. Targets were struck through artillery fire against places in Syria identified by radar. Turkey will never leave unanswered such kinds of provocation by the Syrian regime against our national security, the statement said. Syria said it was looking into the origin of the cross-border shelling that hit Akkakuli. Information Minister Amran Soba added, Syria offers its sincere condolences to the families of the victims and to thank you for trying verbose. This recording will go away once the product has been purchased. Our friends the Turkish people. Turkish Foreign Minister Ahmet Davutoglu contacted UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon, the UN Syria Peace Envoy Akbar Brahimi and NATO Secretary General Anders Fogh Rasmussen after the incident. Mr. Ban urged Damascus to respect the territorial sovereignty of its neighbors, saying the cross-border incident demonstrated how Syria's conflict is threatening not only the security of the Syrian people but increasingly causing harm to its neighbors. Mr. Rasmussen told Turkey's foreign minister that he strongly condemned the incident, a NATO spokeswoman said, and continued to follow developments in. Thank you for trying verbose. This recording will go away once the product has been purchased. The region, closely and with great concern. Mr. Rasmussen has repeatedly said that NATO has no intention of intervening in Syria but stands ready to defend Turkey if necessary. U.S. Secretary of State Hillary Clinton said, we are outraged that the Syrians have been shooting across their border, and regretful of the loss of life on the Turkish side. Akkakuli has been fired on several times over the past few weeks. The BBC's Jim Muir says Syrian government forces are attempting to cut rebel supply routes by winning. Thank you for trying verbose. This recording will go away once the product has been purchased. Back the border crossing Atoll Al-Abyad which the rebels seized last month. Residents have been advised to stay away from the border, and more than 100 schools have been closed in the region because of the violence in neighboring Syria. Panicked Turkey's state-owned Anatolia news agency reported that angry townspeople had marched to the mayor's office to protest about the deaths on Wednesday. Town Mayor Abdulhakim Ihsan said, there is anger in our community against Syria, adding that stray bullets and shells had panicked residents over the past 10. Thank you for trying verbose. This recording will go away once the product has been purchased. Gaze. Wednesday's attack is believed to be only the second time that people have died as a result of violence spilling over the border from Syria into Turkey. Two Syrian nationals were killed on Turkish soil in April by stray bullets fired from Syria. In Syria itself, at least 34 people were killed and dozens wounded in a series of bomb explosions in the center of Syria's second city, Aleppo, on Wednesday. The attacks leveled buildings in the city's main square. A military